he grew tired of the Grand Union company that he worked for a number of reasons. Anytime you get in a big company like that, you get up so high and then it becomes not what you know but who you know.
Sure.
And he wasn't one to kowtow to anybody for anything. I mean, he did his job, but he wasn't gonna do what he needed to do or whatever. The other thing that he didn't like is the way the employees were treated. If they could find a way to get rid of an older, long-term employee and save some money by bringing somebody young in, they'd do it in a heartbeat. And he just thought it was horrible. So he said something to my mom about, first he wanted to, talking about going down and buying a couple Dunkin' Donut stores down in Harrisonburg, which is where he was born actually. My mom looked at him, she says, wait a minute, you've been in the food business since you're 15 years old and now you want to flip Dunkin' Donuts? Are you kidding me?
He found these 2 stores, moved here. My grandmother stayed at home, continued. I believe Uncle Gary was in high school, right?
Yes.
So he came down, started the business, and he would open Leesport at 7 or 6? 6. Open the store, drive to Red Hill, open that one at 7, and then just go back and forth. And then he would close Red Hill first, come back, close Leesport, go into the back room, lay on his cot, and go to sleep. Get up next day and do it again.
He started the business when he was 44 years old. So he started at a younger age, and as we got more involved in the business, particularly myself and my brother, he felt more at ease to take weekends and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
He loved to camp. And at about 55, he learned golf.
Interesting.
My son was just a little guy. He said, come on, you got to go golfing. Bring your son with you. So he'd sit in the golf cart and we'd go play golf. You ought to play this more. You could be pretty good. And he loved to fly. He had his own little Cessna, and he'd actually get a phone call from our store manager. They needed something on a Saturday. Cantaloupes. Now, you can be in Red Hill in 45 minutes. Load him in his plane. They go up and buzz the plane, buzz at the store. They come out, wave. There was a little airstrip there that's now where Upper Procurement High School is actually. And he'd land there, and they'd come with the station wagon and pick up the stuff, deliver it in the plane. But he was a better pilot than he was a driver.
He'd be reading the newspaper, driving down, and Gary can tell the same story. Driving down, and in notes. He was infamous for, he lived his entire life with a little notepad that he could put in his pocket. He'd have an idea, open it up, start writing down, driving with his knees. I'm 7, so I think that's how you drive, I don't know.
He used to take Ryan and I golfing, and like my uncle mentioned, and the one time it was just he and I, and so we're going along, and he had kind of a lead foot, was the best way to put it. But I look over, and he's reading the paper, but he has the paper like fully open in front of the steering wheel, and he's looking at the paper. And I'm like, Grandpa, there's a car, and he looks over at me. He's like, what's that, Gary Michael? And I grabbed the steering wheel and jerked this out. I mean, it was funny.
Growing up, I knew the family business. I'd go to work with my dad on weekends, and I don't think I understood the complexity of it. Certainly, well, not the complexity of it, the sheer magnitude and the growth we were going through. But growing up, my parents said, listen, you can go to college, you can do all these things, but over the summer you're going to have a job, and over Christmas break you're going to have a job, and what that job is up to you. I'll make it easy for you. I can get you a job at Redner's, but you will work. And that's what I did. It was my part-time job to make some money over my college breaks. And throughout my 4 years in college, realized that's what I wanted to do. But when I came really into the business, my grandfather had been retired a few years. So, but the understanding was there, yes, nothing's handed to you. And I mean, from my perspective of my grandfather was, he was, everyone says that, what was he like, what was he like? And to me, he was my grandfather, I mean, I'd go camping with him, I'd go fishing with him, I'd go golfing with him. But from that perspective, he was just a loving grandfather.
When I went to school, I was actually hesitant on going either business or art because I really enjoyed the art side. But as after my first year, I declared that I was going to pursue the business side. When I graduated, I can remember my grandfather wasn't able to make it up. At the time, my grandmother was ill to the graduation, but he called me and congratulated me and said, so what's your next step? And I said, well, what do you think, Grandpa? And he said, follow your heart.
Aw.
And that's all he said to me. And I was, you know, I got off that call and I was like, I'm following it. You know, I want to pursue the business. So he never put pressure on us like that. So it's a great memory I have.
He cared as much about his employees as he did his own family. I mean, and he truly did. I mean, he created this ESOP. You know, a lot of people don't know that story, but he did it in 1975.
Yeah.
And what the company does is it invests stock to the employees, Redner stock, and it's got a value. And he got the idea actually from George Jenkins. George Jenkins happened to be the founder of Public Supermarkets. Have you ever heard of
Interesting.
Publix?
Yes.
If you've ever been to
yes.
Florida, everybody knows about Public
Yep.
Supermarkets. They became very, very good friends actually, my dad and him. And he decided he wanted to form this ESOP. And the value back then was $3 a share. Today it's $546. So if you've been around for a while, you're worth a few bucks.
One of his favorite lines, and I know he said it numerous times over his life, was treat people the way you want to be treated. And I think that's the philosophy that just kind of carried over, and from his bad experiences at the Grand Union.
He told me more than one time, he says, number one, I can't run this company, it's too big, after he retired. And he told me, he says, I never in my wildest dreams thought we would ever create something like this.